What's going on, guys? The Comics Kid 2099 here to talk to you about Star Wars Bounty Hunters, Galaxy's Deadliest. This is the first 5 issues of what I believe is an ongoing series. This takes place right after Empire Strikes Back. This is brought to you by Ethan Sachs, Paolo Villanelli, Arif Prianto. I recognize that name from the Star Wars book I talked about last week. And I know the covers are by Lee Bermejo. This book was a little confusing to me. By the end of the book, everything kind of made sense and fell into place, but what I don't want to say whenever I am talking about a book or a movie is it makes more sense if you go through it a second time. I'm simple. I want something that makes sense the first time that I read it. And this book was, in my opinion, very needlessly confusing. We have a whole lot of characters that we are following through this book, and several of them, their stories just kind of stop. You don't really know what's going on with them, and then some of them you will continue to follow. I'm assuming you'll continue to follow into Volume 2, but this reminds me of if you see a juggler and they have like 10 or 15 balls and then suddenly they drop like 5 of those balls and then they keep juggling the rest of them flawlessly, but they still drop some of them. That's kind of what this feels like here. So the plot of this is anywhere from like 7 to 12 years ago, we see a group of bounty hunters. Boba Fett and Bosk are among them. There's also this aquatic lady, I don't remember her name. There's this other guy, his name is like Torgo or something like that. And then there's this Terminator-looking guy on the cover of Balance. They are all part of this bounty hunter group. They are escorting this guy into a fortress because he wants to kill somebody. And then they get into the room of the person that he wants to kill. We don't see who is in the room. And then he jumps forward to murder somebody. And then the leader of this group of bounty hunters tries to stop him. And then she ends up killing the guy who had hired them. And then all the bounty hunters kind of go their separate ways. And then we find out different stuff about this mission as we go through these 5 issues. And the problem is, several problems really. One of my problems is we're not following one particular character. We're following a bunch of characters, and so for me, it was a little confusing, like, okay, who am I supposed to actually care about here? Do I need to care about Boba Fett? Is this one of those times where people think that Boba Fett is awesome for some reason, and they want me to care about him? No, he's kind of an antagonist in this story, and he's not in it a whole lot, but he's in it a little bit. We follow Bosk for a little bit, then there's this other person who's following Bosk, and then the fact that we are kind of jumping back and forth between stuff going on the Corellia mission and then stuff in the present day, that makes it a little bit more difficult for me as well. In the present day, we are following the twin sister of Torgo. Her name is like Torga or something like that. We're following her because her brother died on the Corellia mission, and so she wants revenge on whoever is responsible for that. And there was just a lot of stuff here that, like I said, I think if I read this again, it would make a lot more sense to me, but I don't want to say that it didn't make any sense to me the first time. I want to say that it made sense and I understood it the first time through. One of my problems is the person who hired this group of bounty hunters was a dude, but I thought that it was a chick with a really bad haircut, and then I find out, like, towards the end of issue 4, oh, that was a guy. Because at one point, Torga, she is talking with this clan of criminals, and she says, you lost your son on the Corellia mission, and I intend to get revenge for his death and also the death of my brother. And I was trying to think, I was like, who was the son of this criminal? Who was it that she's talking about? Because I see this person with long hair, and he's barely in the issue in the flashback, and so I didn't pick up on the fact that this was a guy who had hired them. I thought it was a woman with long hair. And then I find out towards the end of issue 4, oh, that's the son of the criminal that she was talking about who died on this mission. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. It turns out, you find out at the end of issue 4, there are these 2 rival clans of criminals. And this guy from this one clan, he hires these bounty hunters because he has knocked up this girl from this other clan. And he wants to kill her and remove the evidence because if his dad finds out that he knocked up this girl from the other clan, then that would be no good. He does not want his dad to find out about that. And so when when they get into the room, the leader of these bounty hunters, she sees, oh, it's a pregnant woman, and then he kills her or shoots her, and then so the leader of the bounty hunters shoots him, and that's what kind of puts all of these bounty hunters on the blacklist a little bit for a few years anyway. Boba Fett says that this ruined his reputation, and that kind of is what sets the plot in motion. And then we find out that this aquatic leader of the bounty hunters, that she took the pregnant woman and they went and hid somewhere, and then she died in childbirth, and then she raised the kid. And so now the kid is anywhere from 7 to 12 years old. I don't really know how old she's supposed to be. It never gives a specific amount of time for how long ago the Corellia mission was, but she is old enough that she knows how to fly a ship. And so then, basically, by the end of the book, Valance, who is our Terminator-looking guy, he is tasked with protecting this girl, because the leader of the bounty hunters, she wanted to unite these two gangs so that there would be less bloodshed in the galaxy. And that's a noble goal, but this kind of feels a little repetitive. It kind of seems similar to The Mandalorian, where you have a total bad butt bounty hunter who decides to give up the bounty hunting stuff and protect a little kid who is important, and everybody wants the kid because there is a representative of one of the clans who knows that girl is the heir to both clans, and she wants to kill that girl because she will ruin everything that this representative from this clan has tried to build. So much like in The Mandalorian, people are trying to kill the kid, and then you have a bounty hunter protecting the kid. It feels very much like The Mandalorian, except a lot more confusing. When I watched the first episode of The Mandalorian, I wasn't confused. I knew what was going on. There were some unanswered questions, but you still knew what was going on. With the first 4 issues of this book, I had no idea what was going on. There were way too many characters. There's one character who is following Bosk, who is on the trail of the former leader of these bounty hunters, and then that character just gets killed like in issue 3 or early in issue 4. That character was a complete waste of space. We didn't need that character who wasn't part of this original group. Then you have Torga and Torgo. Torga, she gets killed by Boba Fett at the end of issue 4. She was also a complete waste of space. We didn't need to be following her around looking for clues and trying to find the leader of these bounty hunters. She gets shot, and then her story is just over. You could have focused on Valance and a little bit on the leader of these bounty hunters. You could have Bosk in it a little bit so that you can have somebody to be an antagonist towards Valance, but this could have just been Valance's story. Bosk is a main antagonist, and then Boba Fett shows up at the end, and he's your main antagonist after Bosk is kind of taken out of the picture. You didn't need to spend so much time on all these characters who, frankly, aren't that important in this story. I feel like this might be better once you get into Volume 2, now that you have a premise for the series with Bounty Hunter protecting a little kid, but I'm not going to read Volume 2. And my library has Volume 2, but I'm not going to read it. You should not take you 4 issues to set up a pretty simple premise like this. You could have set this up in 1 issue, and also, this just wasn't written very well, and so I don't have a high amount of faith that Volume 2 is going to be written very well, even though, in theory, it will probably be a little bit less of a mess, because some of the characters who we were focusing on in this book, they've been taken out of the picture. So I don't know. I really wanted to like this. I feel like with Star Wars, I have kind of gotten sick and tired of the Jedi and the Force and the Rebellion. I was interested in seeing a Star Wars underworld story, and this could have been an interesting story, but it kind of fell on its face, in my opinion. So those are my thoughts on Star Wars Bounty Hunters. I hope you guys liked this book or liked this review of this book, and I will talk to you guys later in the week with some other videos. In the meantime, have a great rest of the day. Catch you later.